this country. 2. Should he fail to comply, the GJA will not hesitate to petition all appropriate bodies, including but not limited to the National Media Commission, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SRAJ, International Press Freedom Watchdogs, including the Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, the Federation of African Journalists, FAJ, and the International Federation of Journalists. We will hold him personally accountable for any harm that befall journalists in public or elsewhere as a result of his utterances. So what it means is that if a journalist visits any hospital, public hospital, and anything happens to him or her, whether due to the negligence of nurses or not, we are going to hold Dr. Tinkra responsible if he fails to do the needful within 5 days. We also call on the leadership of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association to publicly dissociate itself from this comment. Silence on their part will be interpreted as endorsement and complicity. 5. Finally, we urge the government of Ghana, the Ministry of Health, and the security agencies to take immediate steps to assure journalists of their safety in hospitals and other public spaces. We wish to remind Dr. Tinkra Chum, wherever he is, and if he's listening and watching me, that Article 162, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution guarantees the freedom and independence of the media, while Article 21, Clause 1A guarantees every Ghanaian's right to freedom of speech and expression, including that of the media. His statement amounts to an affront to Ghana's constitutional democracy. Colleagues, Dr. Tinkra Chum cannot use our platform that was availed to him to champion the welfare of his association members to threaten our members. He says they own the hospitals, the public hospitals, that's their offices. We also own the media platforms. So you sit on our own platform and you threaten us. It doesn't happen anyway. It doesn't happen anyway, Doctor. We have always been raising issues relating to the conditions of service of nurses and midwives, their concerns, displeasures, and so it is unfortunate that their General Secretary, who should know better or must know better, will speak in the manner he spoke. And so we deserve nothing but respect from and all other persons who benefit from the work of the media. And so we will not entertain such comment from him or from anybody at all who use the media as a channel of communication and who benefit from the media directly or indirectly. Now let's take note, our media practitioners. Colleagues, let's take note of this. Media ethics and professional responsibility is very key. While the GJA strongly condemns Dr. Tinkra Chum's reckless utterances, we must also point out with equal fairness that sections of the media acted unethically in their reportage relating to this matter. Context distortion. After an incident at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Rich Hospital, that's into bracket, Rich Hospital, where some individuals attacked nurses and staff, some bloggers, social media influencers, online portals, and even segments of the traditional media irresponsibly circulated an old video of Dr. Tinkra Chum, recorded in June 2025, falsely linking it to the Ridge Hospital incident, as if Dr. Tinkra Chum was speaking in response to the case at the Ridge Hospital. This is grossly misleading and unethical. Violation of Article 23 of the GJA Code of Ethics. Article 23 states that, and I quote, a journalist ensures that photographs and multimedia content adequately reflect an event and do not highlight an incident out of context. By editing and repurposing an old video to fit a current story, those journalists and bloggers clearly violated this provision. Another violation of Article 4 of the GJA Code of Ethics. Article 4 requires, and I quote, a journalist makes adequate inquiries and cross-checks is or a fact. The key question here is, did the journalist and online platforms who circulated the June 2025 video as if it were current obey this ethical obligation? The answer is a resounding no. Disinformation and credibility. Such conduct amounts to disinformation. It undermines public trust in journalism and damages the credibility of the profession we are sworn to uphold. It must be stated categorically that June 2025 video of Dr. Tinkra Chum has no link to the recent Ridge Hospital incident. The GJA therefore entreats hosts of radio and television programs, as well as editors and producers and traditional media outlets, to exercise greater circumspection in the discharge of their duties. They must avoid intemperate language, desist from misleading their audiences, and always adhere to the ethics of their profession. That said, the GJA maintains that irrespective of whether Dr. Tinkra Chum's comments are old or current, his utterances remain deeply troubling. It is unacceptable for a health professional of his caliber to emotionally wound his potential patient, in this case, journalists, by declaring that they have been marked and will be shown when they visit hospitals. Such rhetoric erodes public confidence in the healthcare system and is unbecoming of a leader entrusted with public responsibility. Let it be stated clearly, journalists are not enemies of nurses and midwives. The media has consistently highlighted the challenges of the health sector, often advocating for better working conditions for health professionals. For their General Secretary to turn around and threaten journalists is not only regrettable, but also an act of betrayal of public trust. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, the GJA reiterates that the safety is non-negotiable. Any attack on a journalist is an attack on our democracy, and even attack on me, the President, National Executive of the GJA. We will respond robustly and relentlessly to defend press freedom and the lives of our members. And let there be no doubt, if Dr. Tinkra Chum fails to retract and apologize, the GJA reserves the right to pursue legal action against him personally in a court of competent jurisdiction. We will hold him fully responsible in law and in public accountability for the consequences of his reckless statement. And we will not only take civil actions, we may also resort to criminal action. Because these are words of threat. Our is already in motion to the Inspector General of Police on this reckless statement for the police to probe and to ensure that when journalists, anything happens to journalists in our public hospitals, this man will be held accountable. Colleagues, Akwetia by-elections. Information available to us indicate that there are heavy presence of the military in Akwetia, particularly Wenchi and other areas, causing fear and panic among the people. Inasmuch as we want to support the security services to discharge their duties, the ally governing the conduct of elections in the country clearly mandates the Ghana Police Service to be the lead security in charge to ensure a secure, orderly and peaceful environment for the electoral process. The same ally mandates the Inspector General of Police to chair election security task force in this country and not the military. And it is only in some instances that the military will serve as a backup police to beef up security when the need be or arises. The GJA is monitoring and observing the election process, and we believe strongly that there's no need for any masked, and the word is masked, any masked security personnel in the constituency. Don't expect security personnel to be seen wearing face mask, causing mayhem, intimidating electorate. We are there to expose the ills and wrongs of the society. We are there to shed light on darkness, and nothing will prevent us from discharging that constitutional duty, regardless. We will expose the ills when we make such observations. We must avoid the use of military to intimidate the electorate. We encourage the police to ensure that no hooligans and thugs are allowed to foment trouble in the constituency or in the area. Professionalism and ethical conduct. The Ghana Journalists Association would like to take this opportunity to urge all journalists or media practitioners assigned to cover the Akwetia parliamentary by-election Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, to demonstrate the highest level of professionalism before, during, and after the polls. Journalists must remain guided by the GJA Code of Ethics, ensuring accuracy, fairness, and balance in their reportage. We encourage practitioners to avoid conduct, language, or practices that could expose them to hostility or provoke attacks. Ethical and responsible coverage is not only in the interest of you, the journalist, yourself, but also in the interest of safeguarding Ghana's democratic process. We need to try and work in harmony with all stakeholders, particularly the EC officials and the police in their constituency, to ensure incident-free, fair, and transparent election. Our audiences await credible reportage. We expect you to professionally broadcast the news. Don't become the news. We are the storytellers. We are the newsmakers. We are there to tell the story and not to be the story. Shouldn't become the news. The GJA role of the media houses. Role of the media houses. The GJA calls on media houses to play their part in ensuring the safety of all journalists they deploy to Akwetia. Beyond the provision of coverage equipment, media owners and managers must guarantee that their reporters are adequately resourced with safety and security support, including protective gear and clear instructions on risk management. Sending journalists into a volatile electoral environment is acceptable. Insist that media houses must treat safety as an essential part of their operational obligation, not as an afterthought. Safety. Safety. Very, very key. Security assurances and accountability. Security assurances and accountability. The GJA acknowledges assurances by the Inspector General of Police, GP, Christian Tetenyonu, that journalists will be protected and not subjected to attacks during the Akwetia by-election. However, we stress that these assurances must translate into concrete action on the ground. The GJA will hold the security services fully accountable for the safety and protection of journalists in Akwetia. If any journalist is attacked while performing his or her legitimate duties, the leadership of the police service will bear the full responsibility. And I quote, or I repeat, if any journalist is attacked while performing his or her legitimate duties, the leadership of the Ghana Police Service will bear full responsibility, and the association will not hesitate to demand accountability both at home and abroad. Reminder to the government and armed forces. Reminder to the government and the Ghana Armed Forces. The National Executive of the GJA would like to remind the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of the Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, of his public promise to the attack by news reporter Carlos by a soldier along the Sprinters route. This report is long overdue, and its release is necessary to restore public confidence that the military does not condone attacks on journalists. And I take it once again. This report is long overdue, and its release is necessary to restore public confidence that the military does not condone attacks on journalists. I insist that this promise without further delay. For failure to do so will cast doubt on the military's commitment to transparency and accountability in matters of press freedom. We are yet to hear from government after the president, through the Minister of State in charge of government communication, directed the Minister and National Security Coordinator to investigate the incident involving the attack and arrest of Carlos and his cameraman and ensure the appropriate punishment is imposed. The delay comes to confirm our earlier fear and position that the president's directive was not enough, even though we commended the president for his swift response to the incident. We were thinking timeline should have been given, but that was not done. And here we find ourselves. It confirms our fears and our earlier position. Finally, back to Akwetia. The GJA appeals directly to political parties and their supporters to conduct themselves responsibly during the Akwetia by-elections. Journalists are not combatants in the political contest. They are professionals carrying out a democratic duty to inform the public. We encourage all political actors to respect the work of journalists, avoid confrontations, and refrain from acts that could compromise their safety. The GJA reaffirms its unwavering commitment to defend the rights, safety, and dignity of journalists and calls on all stakeholders, media houses, security agencies, political parties, and civil society to work together to ensure peaceful, safe, and professional coverage of the Akwatia by-election. We are watching, observing closely. We are watching. We the ground to also give us first-hand information. In conclusion, colleagues, let it be clear to everyone, as we always say, that journalism is not a crime, and journalists must be treated as partners in democracy, not as targets of attacks and threats. Your leadership will continue to rise and protect the interests, the welfare of journalists in this country at all times. Long live our profession, long live GJA, long live Ghana. Thank
you. Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power.